All right. Want to kick us off, Jamie?
Yes. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us for week 2 of our Top Soccer workshop series. Tonight, we'll be discussing the new registration platform and process, or not platform, but the process and the risk management procedures. And then we'll also be diving into our partners, our uniforms, discounts, some practice session resources, and a little bit more. If you do have any questions, please feel free to use the chat function at the bottom of your screen. We'll be going through those at the end. And if it's a question that we feel that is important to be discussed right then and there, we'll also answer it then. And now I'm going to pass it over to Karen Goulet.
Thank you, Jamie. Thank you to all of our friends from Mass Youth Soccer, our staff members who are on the call tonight. You're going to be hearing from many of them. We do have a jam-packed session in only 1 hour to get through it. So rather than going through all sorts of formal introductions, we'll just give a big thank you and welcome to all of those of you who happen to be joining us this week for the first time and didn't happen to have the time to join us last week. We're glad to have you. You're going to be learning about a lot of great new and interesting opportunities here in Massachusetts as it relates to Top Soccer. So let me pass it over, and I think the hostess for the rest of the evening for the most part is going to be Tammy Endow. If you could do a quick intro there, Tammy.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. I am Tammy Endo. I am the Member Service Manager for Massachusetts Youth Soccer. And I am the office point person for the Top Soccer program. And we hope to be working closely with Karen and John to bring you some new and exciting things for all of your programs. Jamie, if you want to fire up the presentation. Okay, if you can go to the next slide, Jamie. So as Karen mentioned, we do have a jam-packed presentation for you tonight. We are going to go over registration, our new registration process that encompasses both our player registration and our adult buddy registrations. And then I'm going to pass the meeting on over to Mary Relic, our risk manager, and Kayla McClellan, who's our risk manager and registration administrator, to go over some of our risk management procedures. We'll go through background checks, safe sport requirements, concussion training, and health waivers. And then as we start to wind down, Jacob and myself, Jacob is the member services administrator and works closely with me. We're going to review some of our partners and some of the great opportunities that they've provided us for the upcoming spring and fall and into the fall 2022-23 season. Next screen, Jamie. So currently in Massachusetts, we have 21 active top soccer programs with more than 500 exuberant top soccer players and 500 plus buddies to help them out. And for that reason, and for reasons of wanting to grow this program to provide bigger opportunity to more players within the state, we've started to streamline our registration process so we have a better understanding of where our programs are and how many members are partaking in the program. So if you can go to the next slide, please. So in order to do this, what we're asking is that all TOPS players, buddies, and coaches are to be registered with Mass Youth Soccer annually. We're making this process optional for the spring of 2022, but it will be mandatory beginning in the fall of 2022-23. So what we suggest, honestly, is that you take the opportunity to do this process this spring, for the optional period. That will help you work out any bugs on your end and make sure that everything is working smoothly come the mandatory period for the next playing year. One thing that we will talk about today too is buddies. And one of the things that we will say to you is you do not have to register your buddies through the Top Soccer program if your buddies are registered with your organization as a player. However, if the buddy, for example, plays for Worcester Youth Soccer, but is a buddy for Auburn United, Auburn would have to register that buddy because they need to be covered for under the Auburn umbrella. So you're asking, I'm sure you're asking why now? Why are we switching? Why are we making it mandatory to register our players? And the answer to that question is really twofold. The first is for risk management reasons, as far as knowing what players are out on the field and making sure that if any kind of incident happens, as far as an accident, a player gets injured, that they're covered under our insurance. I'd hate to see any player, buddy, or coach get injured and we wouldn't know, they wouldn't be registered with us, and therefore we would have issues with our insurance company in getting them covered. The other ones, the other reason would be for program data. And we'd use that in two different manners. One, to get grant funding for our programs, that would enable us to offer different events, different activities, as well as uniforms and whatnot to our member organizations. And also just to be able to provide that information to our sponsors and our vendors to see if we can work out any kind of discounts and whatnot to bring you some additional events and opportunities. So as of right now and going forward, Massachusetts Youth Soccer does not charge our member organizations to register their TOPS players. So when you send through your registration for these players, you're not going to get the $17 or $22 registration fee that a recreation or a travel player would have. If you could please, next slide, Jamie. So just to give you a quick encapsulation of the registration process, there's two different procedures depending on what platform you're using. So if you're a Soccer Connect user using the Club Connect product, there's two processes within Soccer Connect itself. Those programs that are currently charging for your TOPSoccer programs, those programs will set up player registration for TOPSoccer in the same manner that you set up your recreational and your travel programs. So you would set it up with a link for your TOPSoccer program players and buddies to register there. And through that manner, your players would be designated with the player code of TS. That will let us know that they're TOPSoccer players. For programs that do not charge, what you would do through the Soccer Connect platform is set up a free event. Your players would register for that event, and then the player registration file would be sent to Mass Youth by uploading your registration file to US Soccer Connect through the upload portal. Players again would be designated with the code of TS on the file that was sent through the portal. There are transaction fees for Soccer Connect, and these fees will continue to apply. There's a very small transaction fee for programs that don't charge. It's $3 a player, and because we're not charging for the players, the fee will go back to the member organization. Members that charge for their programs will incur their normal transaction fees. So whatever you're getting for transaction fees for your recreational programs and your travel programs, those will apply for TOPSoccer. So now for non-Sports Connect users. So this is Admin Sports, Sports Pilot, for those of you using those platforms to register your players. TOPSoccer players will be added to your registration file with the designation of TS, and this file will be sent to Mass Youth Soccer by uploading your registration file to the US Soccer Connect platform through the upload portal. This is the exact same procedure that's being used now to upload your registration files for recreational and travel players. So it's nothing new, it's nothing different. It's just that you need to, they need to be designated with the code TS. Jamie, next slide. So appropriate player code, as you've heard me mention over and over again, the appropriate player code for a TOPSoccer participant, whether it be a buddy or a player or a coach, is TS. This code has currently been activated for our members who have indicated to us that they're offering a TOPSoccer program. So if you remember back at the end of January, most of you would have received a survey asking if you were running a TOPSoccer program. It had a few other questions, as like who your contacts were, how many players you had playing, etc. If you answered that survey, we considered that you were running a TOPSoccer program and have turned on that player code for your organization. Now, if you didn't respond to the survey, you don't remember if you responded to the survey, you can confirm that we have confirm if we have your program listed by going to the TOPSoccer page on our website under the TOPSoccer community page. There you'll find a listing of all of our programs. And if your program is not listed, please email me and we'll get you set up and squared away. And we'll get the activation codes turned on. So,
Tammy, could I possibly interrupt you real quick?
Sure.
So Sharon put a question in the chat, which leads me to an observation in the sense that Massachusetts used to, and I'll put it in air quotes, have far more than 21 active TOPSoccer programs. COVID doing what it did certainly was part of the reason that they're not considered active. It doesn't mean that we don't still have many more TOPSoccer programs. They've just not been running or have responded to that survey with active plans to restart again. Right. Or the coordinators who at that time were the main point of contact perhaps have moved on. And so there's different coordinators. So Sharon asked who the survey was sent to.
The survey was sent to all of the leadership. It went to the presidents, vice presidents, and any TOPSoccer coordinator that we had listed on file. So Karen, we used the list that you had as well. So those people were sent any of those programs that may have just not been running during COVID. It would have gone to whoever the last coordinator was. Right. But the town's leadership received it as well. So the member organization's leadership received it. It doesn't mean that they read it. It doesn't mean that they forwarded it on to whoever needed to be. So, and it happens a lot. There's a lot of emails that go out and things do get lost. So I can quite understand that. That's why I'm asking if you're on this call and you're not sure if you're listed, if you responded to the survey, to please go look at the TOPSoccer community page. And if you're not listed, please reach out to me, shoot me an email. I'll get back to you and we'll get y'all squared away. We'll get your information up on the website and we will turn on these codes for your organization.
Thanks, Tammy.
Yep. So just to wrap this section up, when using the player code for your TOPSoccer players, coaches, and buddies, these registrations are then flagged at our end. So we know not to charge you. You won't get invoiced for these players. So this is the way to avoid getting players mixed up and ending up having to pay for players that are participating in TOPSoccer and not in recreational or travel programs. That brings me to the end of this section. So if anybody has any questions, if Jamie, is there anything in the chat that we haven't addressed or that we want to address?
I think
The only
that
thing
they've been
that's-
answering it in the chat.
Yeah. The only
Okay.
thing that strikes me, and I put it in the chat there, Tammy, is there's often a disconnect at the town-based program level between the TOPSoccer coordinators who are pure volunteers and the rest of the town-based programs, right? So their rec, their travel, whatnot. So they may not know, folks on this call may not know if you're using Sports Connect or not. So just check with your town-based registrar.
Yep. And that's a good point, Karen. So it is good to, after we're through, to check with the registrar on, because there's issues with queries and all the risk management stuff as well, that your risk managers, who oftentimes are also your registrars, will address. So it'd be good to combine that and make that connection. So if there are no more questions on this piece, I am going to turn this presentation over to Mary Relic, who is our risk manager, and she's going to talk to you about the risk management requirements.
Thanks, Tammy. Good evening, everybody. And as Tammy said, we're going to talk about the adult registration and risk management requirements for your buddies. So basically, it's who must register as an adult participant. So I'm going to start with the second bullet point, which is most parents and siblings don't need to complete an adult registration or the concussion and safe sport abuse prevention training. And that's if that parent or that sibling are only helping their child or their brother or sister. They're out on the field with their immediate family member, that's okay. They don't need to register. So the buddies that will need to register are the ones that are over 18 years old and are working as in a supervisory position or an administrator, or are actually out on the field coaching the children. Those are the adults that have the same requirements as every other adult participant. So they will register in the system, and we'll go into this a little bit more, but they're going to make sure that they register with Mass Youth Soccer, listing the organization they're participating with at that point. Like Tammy said, if they're from Worcester, but they're participating in Auburn's program, they're going to register to Auburn at that point. So they're going to complete the adult registration. It's going to kick off their background checks, and then they're going to do their trainings. So again, those are the ones that need to register as an adult. They are 18 years or older, and they are not just working with their own children. They're in another type of position with that organization. So Jamie, do you want to move to the next slide? Because we'll get into it a little bit more. And so now we'll go to how they register. We understand that a lot of the buddies are going to be 18-year-olds that were previously players or are still players, but they're now 18. So at that point, they would have registration data in US Soccer Connect, and their registration is going to be, the process for that is a little bit different than a regular adult participant. So we won't get into it fully, but on our website, on the Risk Manager Information webpage on the right-hand side, at the bottom is the help guide for that type of registration. And Kayla and I will be happy to help you out. You can take a look at that help guide. If you need help registering any of those buddies who do have player registration data in the system, contact us. Then the other buddies that are 18 years or older, they'll register as regular adult participants. So they're either new to Mass Youth Soccer or new to coaching. They would create an account and do the new user help guide. And then if they're a coach that has been coaching, if they're already in the system registered for the year, like Tammy said, we want those adults to be registered under the right program so they can go back in as a returning user for this year, and they can register. The person from Worcester can register and add Auburn to their account by going through the registration portal. Otherwise, if they have data in there, they'll register as returning users if they were registered last year. So again, they need to make sure they choose the correct town, which is the town or program that they're actually working with at this point, not the town that they live in when they register as adults. Do we have any questions on this part?
There was a question that came to mind for me, so I hope you don't mind, Mary.
No.
We probably have a lot of top soccer programs that have players and or buddies from outside of their town. So when you just were going through kind of the process, it dawned on me that even though the player or the buddy is signing up for, say, Auburn's program, they may also be a player in 3 towns over or a board member for one town over. So did I hear correctly that that's still feasible to select those other programs that they may already be credentialed through?
Yes, so
Okay.
if they're a player, they're already on the player registration data for one town. So like Tammy said, if they're Worcester, they're going to be with Auburn United, then Auburn United would add them to their player registration. If they're 18 or older and they're an adult and they're already working with the town, they would just go back through the registration portal and add Auburn United into their registration account that way, and then they'll show up under their program.
Beautiful. Thank you for the clarification.
Sure. Okay, if that's it, I believe we can go to the next slide. All right. In this slide, Kayla.
Thank you, Mary. Hi, everyone.
You're welcome.
My name is Kayla McClellan, and I joined the team here in January. I work very closely with Mary in risk management. I also support Rachel with registration. And so Mary just spoke about how adults register. So I'm going to just refresh and remind on how those under 18 buddies go about registering. So to the first bullet point, if the TOPSoccer buddy is one of your players that was included in your Mass Youth registration data, they are all set, okay? That next bullet point, so if the TOPSoccer buddy is under 18 and is not registered with Mass Youth Soccer through your organization, they are going to, you must include them in your organization's player registration uploads with that TS code that Tammy had spoke about at the beginning of this presentation. And just as a reminder, under 18 buddies are not required to register as an adult, nor are they required to have in their possession any adult credential. There are no questions about that. I will throw it back to Mary.
Thanks, Kayla. I think, okay, so now we're going to talk about the TOPSoccer Athletes Safe Sport exemption. So the Center for Safe Sport had a new, I'm sorry, for some reason, can't think of this, but the Center for Safe Sport has a new requirement this year, and it's for adult athletes. So an adult athlete is a 18-year-old athlete. And the adult athletes that need to take the safe sport training are adult athletes that are on a team with 17-year-old players or younger. So we are allowed, Safe Sport gave us the okay to have a TOPSoccer waiver for players in TOPSoccer who the parents might not think it's a good idea for their player to take the training, and the player for some reason can't take the Safe Sport training. So the second hyperlink below on this slide is the actual waiver that the parent will complete. And then they'll send that to the TOPSoccer organization, or the organization that's running the TOPSoccer program. And then the first link right there will tell that organization basically how you can manage it. You'll receive the waivers from the parents and save that to the side, making sure you have it. In case we are audited for some reason, we need to make sure that you're holding on to that waiver. And then on that first, the Safe Sport Training Exemption document, the first one hyperlink there, there's also the directions for a parent to take the Safe Sport training. The parent doesn't have to take the Safe Sport training, but we believe Safe Sport training is very important. And it's just a good idea before the parent signs off on a waiver that at least they take that training. So do we have any questions on that?
Could we go back? Yes, could we stay there for a quick moment? And I don't know if it's possible, Jamie, to take the screen share down for a moment and just a quick show of hands on attendees. For how many of you is this brand new information, meaning the fact that your 18 plus players and buddies have requirements to comply with Safe Sport requirements? Is it brand new information for any of you? Okay, good. That's good. because it's not new it's not a new requirement. And it's been underway, yeah, for the rest of the membership. So, tens of thousands of players across the nation for quite some time. So real glad to hear that this is not new information for anybody running a top soccer program, whether it be players aged 18 or over, or coordinators or buddies. So tremendous coup and many thanks to our team here at Mass Youth for running it up the flagpole and getting top soccer players who are aged 18 and older, actually really 17 and older, an exemption from that requirement. So kudos to all of you. Thanks very much.
You're welcome. And just so everybody knows, you can find both documents on the Top Soccer webpage, on the Mass Youth Soccer website. They're right at the top of the page. Okay. All right, so I believe we're all done with that one. Again, if anybody has any questions on this, feel free to contact me or Kayla. We'd be glad to help you out. But I think the first hyperlink document there will explain everything to you, and the actual waiver that the parents will complete and send to you as an administrator. So you can accept that exemption for them. Okay. All right, next slide here. All right. Jacob Ames is going to present this slide. Go ahead, Jacob.
Hi, so my name is Jacob Ames. I work in member services, as I've been introduced. And like Kayla, I started in January, so I'm excited to jump on board and work with Top Soccer in this dimension. We have a lot of new announcements that we're really excited to share with you as far as our partnerships go. But first, I think we need to give recognition to USYS and the foundation that they provide to us as Mass Youth Soccer. They lead the way in terms of the work that we do with TOPS here in Massachusetts. And we absolutely consider their work as, like I said, foundational to what we're doing. Beyond that, like I said, we're excited to talk a little bit more about SCORE, We Got Soccer, and Quick Goal. Tammy's going to give you all a little bit more information as far as adaptive equipment and new opportunities that organizations have. And then, like always, we're grateful for our partnership with the New England Revolution. I'll talk a little bit more about our Day at the Revs coming up this year that we're once again excited to host at Gillette Stadium. So on the next slide, I'm going to throw it over back to Tammy.
Thanks, Jacob. This is a piece that we're all pretty excited about that's going to happen for the soccer year 2022-23. And it's a top soccer uniform program. And it's something to unify our top soccer programs across the state, that all of our players will feel like they belong to something bigger, as well as have pride in their own teams and organizations. What we are providing, Mass Youth Soccer will provide a uniform shirt to all top soccer players in the fall. And you see them here, they're the blue and the white shirts. They're actually reversible shirts. They'll be printed on both sides with the Top Soccer logo, the Mass Youth Soccer logo. And if you would like to have your own logo put on these shirts when you receive them, you can bring them to your local printers to do so. They're very lightweight. The seams are very smooth. There shouldn't be anything cause any friction. And they're good. You can always wear a shirt underneath if necessary. In addition, we'll be providing buddy t-shirts. And they're the red shirts you see here. They're a tech shirt. They're going to be logoed again with the Top Soccer, USYS Top Soccer logo and the Mass Youth Soccer shield. All of these items will be provided to our programs that are registered with us as Top Soccer programs come fall. So again, this is another piece where your registration numbers for spring of this year would be helpful for us. So at least we can get an idea of how many uniforms we'll be sending out. We're thankful to our partners at SCORE who are making this possible, because they are actually providing these uniforms and the buddy shirts to us as a buy one, get one opportunity. So for each shirt we purchase, they provide us with one. And the next screen. In addition to our new uniform program, we also have a fanware site and a equipment store. So we've heard from many programs that, you know, everybody wants to be part of the program. They want to support TOPSoccer, and how can we do it? So we've worked with SCORE to put together a collection of sweatshirts, t-shirts, polo shirts, athletic shirts, so that you can go onto our website, and there's a link on the homepage of the TOPSoccer program page that will take you to the TOPSoccer store. There you can purchase any one of these items, and it will be delivered directly to your home or whichever address you put in. It's also great for organizations if you want to purchase these for your coaches, like a sweatshirt or a polo shirt for your coaches to wear. You can order them in bulk and have them shipped directly to one location. The other opportunity that we have with SCORE is that they've put together an equipment store for us to help our program source some adaptive equipment that they might not be able to get on their own or having trouble sourcing. There's the balls, there's the rattle ball, and some of the bigger balls that are used for players who are in wheelchairs or using walkers, cones, hexagon discs, and larger cones. If when you go in and explore the store, you don't see something that you think would be helpful for programs that we haven't put up on the site, please shoot me an email, and I will work with SCORE to see if we can get that put up on the site. We want to be able to provide our member organizations with kind of a one-stop shopping, or at least a place to gain some resources for the things that you need. Next slide, please. The second opportunity we have is through We Got Soccer and Quick Goal. They are offering our TOPSoccer programs 25% off any 4x6 quick flex goal or quick flex light goal. In order to take advantage of this offer, you need to reach out to team@wegotsoccer.com, and you'll include the TOPS 25 in the subject line. And through there, you can get a quote on what you would want, depending on what you're getting. They will provide that information to you and arrange to process your order. The order deadline to get your 25% off is June 1st. And we have been told that the ship date to your shipping location will be 7/1/22. So next slide. And I'm going to turn it back to Jacob.
And I'm excited to talk about our TOPS Day at the Revs. This has been something that we've been doing for a number of years now. Last year, it was somewhat limited just due to COVID. So we're excited to bring it back, to be back at Gillette, to play on the field, and to enjoy the best of the private suites, the really good food, and a day watching the Revolution. From the time we've spent planning, it's something that we've been intentional about to really just maximize the player experience so that they have the best day, so that it's accommodating for our families who are going to spend a lot of time in Foxborough and at Gillette. And we really wanted to make sure that we took those things into consideration so that it really can be a celebration of our TOPS players, the buddies, and all of our programs that choose to participate. I mean, Gillette's a fantastic place, and we're excited to kind of open it back up again this year. And like I said, we really hope that you join us this year for our Day at the Revs on October 1st.
If I could add, Jacob, there are lots of folks on tonight's call that have participated in this event event in the past, as well as a fair number of folks who perhaps have not participated in this at this event in the past. To our surprise, when we first started hosting this event, many of the top soccer players stay for the entire event. In other words, the on-field portion, the period of time involved to kind of trek up to the suites, settle in, eat, and then watch an entire professional MLS game with the Revs. And I say to our surprise, because for those of you who are involved in top soccer programs, you know, sometimes it can be difficult for long-term periods of time. And so it is a very thoroughly enjoyed event and very well attended in regularity. So we're just so thankful for lots of our partners that you guys are chatting about tonight, but the Revs have always been steadfast partners with us. And each year it just seems to get a little bit better and bigger.
I think our last slide, yeah, Tammy.
No, go ahead. As we're winding down our presentation, and we open up to any questions that you may have, because we know that there are a ton of them. Maybe you might not be comfortable asking them in this forum tonight. So on the screen in front of you, you'll see our email addresses and ways to contact us, as well as the general TOPSoccer email, just in case you forget our emails. That TOPSoccer email, the general email, goes directly to my email box. So one way or another, we will get your question and be able to help you out. And like I said, myself and Jacob can assist you with getting your programs up and running if maybe they've been on hiatus for a little while, and getting you squared away with the registration system. Mary can answer all of your questions about risk management, and Kayla can help you along the way with the new registration process, as well as answer some questions on risk management. So at this time, I'm going to just open it up to anybody who has questions for tonight on anything that they heard tonight. I'll try to answer you. Or did we just do a fantastic job in completely overwhelming everybody?
Well, that's for sure.
Questions, anyone?
I'll start a couple of things off as people are contemplating questions, and thank all of you. So Tammy, Jacob, Kayla, Jamie, our entire staff at Mass Youth Soccer have been steadfast in kind of really injecting what I would consider a jolt of caffeine into our top soccer world here in Massachusetts, and couldn't have come at a better time now that we're emerging out of a pandemic. And so thank you all for your time and dedication into this vast array of opportunities to kick us off.
Thank you, Karen. Nobody has any questions?
No?
None whatsoever?
So you're all going to go and you're going to register your your volunteers as well, your buddies, as well as your players into the new registration system, right? So that you can get all that great gear.
I think Travis has got his hand raised. So Travis, if you have a question for us, feel free to open up your mic and go ahead and ask it.
Sure, yes. And this is related to the topic of registration. We're starting a new Top Soccer program in Arlington, and we touched on this a little bit on the webinar last week, but I'm curious if others who've been doing this for a while could share best practices for, I guess, drumming up interest and, figuring out how you reach people and point them toward your registration, website, and kind of just start the ball rolling really to get those registrations rolling in.
Some of our experienced members who I know, Sharon.
There was also discussion of a flyer last week, I believe, as well. So I'm still, I would still love to see that if folks are willing to share.
Yeah, I know John had put something together. I don't know if it was King Philip specific, but Jamie actually has put together a QR code for us to put a flat on any flyer. So if you have a specific flyer for your organization, Travis, with the information that you want to use, we can provide you with the QR code that we have for the Top Soccer program, which goes to our website. So it'll have all of the information. I'd be happy to send that out. Just shoot me an email tomorrow and we can get that out to you also. But anybody who wants to answer Travis's question directly, no, Sharon probably has some great ideas. She actually had a great video that she shared with us this week, and I wonder, would she be able to share that? Sharon, would you, not to put you on the spot at the moment?
Let me see if I can send it to you in email,
Okay, my email is very slow.
or I can maybe put it in the chat if I can find the link. 1 minute.
Yep. So
Why
Sharon,
don't you go ahead and let me go find it, Sharon, if you want to go ahead and share some of your expertise.
yep.
Oh, so I was just going to offer that we started with our membership. So you have an entire email population of your membership in Arlington. So I would start with sending a registration, so an explanation on what your program is, what your program or who your program caters to, and then registration information so folks can find their way to register to your program. In the beginning, we posted flyers at pediatrician offices around our town and surrounding towns. We also had some connections into special education teachers, and we networked with them. That was another very good connection point. And then there are, I don't even know what to call them. It was kind of like a fair. I know it was called CPAC, but I don't know what that stands for. But it was a forum where special needs parents could come and learn more about resources in their community. So we had a table there as well and got many new signups in that environment. So those are some of the ideas that I have for starting up. It's what we continue to do. And then if you have social media for your organization, I would certainly post it on social media.
Those are all great ideas. Thank you.
Yeah, Kieran, did you find the link to the video? Okay.
Did you find it, Karen? Because I
I
haven't.
did. Oh, if you have it, go ahead, Tammy, go for it.
No, if you can share it, that'd be great. I just found it on my phone. I just have,
Oh, yeah, let me pull it up then.
Yep.
Give me
I
2
can forward it.
seconds.
Mhm.
We just happen to have someone who the video business that is an assistant coach in the special, we call our program Special Kickers. And he just emailed this to us the other day and said, what do you think of this? Do you think this could help with registration? So I'll let it speak for itself.
I'm going to reshare because I don't think I shared audio the first time.
Every kid deserves to play. Every kid deserves a team. And most of all, every kid deserves to have fun. At Special Kickers, every kid has a buddy. Every kid has a team. And every kid plays. Exercise, teamwork, fun and games are back this spring in Danvers. If you have a special kicker, please sign up today to join us. If you know a special kicker, please pass this along and encourage them to come out and play.
That was great, Sharon.
So most of those images were from our program from the fall.
Great job. And so, I mean, not everybody has the ability to get something put together like that, but even some of the kids, the high school kids, can probably put together something similar for you that you can run on your social media and get the word out. I don't know how much social media maybe Arlington is using right now. I'd imagine a decent amount. So that would be a great way to connect with some of the families. And if they're not people who are going to be involved in your program, they may know people who would like to be involved. So it would be helpful. Anybody else?
Great question, Travis. Next week, by the way, the last of our 3 sessions is focused on a lot of collaborative sharing. And so it'll be yet more opportunity to meet. Maybe we can try to make sure you and Sharon in the same breakout room. Quick comment on the kits, by the way, at some point in the not so distant future, we will have TOPSoccer programs who will be able to, who are already playing against each other. And when I say playing against each other, there's of course traditional level play and non-traditional level play, or just kind of coexisting with each other. And I think it's just a wonderful vision in my head anyways, and I'm sure all of you can envision it too, all of them wearing their coordinated uniforms, right? So you get some in blue and some in red, buddies in white. I probably screwed those up, Tammy.
That's okay, Karen. Blue and white players, red
Right.
buddies. But anyways, same idea.
All part of the same community with the same looking shirts, just different colors. So just really looking forward to that day, whether it be that or unified play. So it's just we're moving into a new century here with our branded image of the program.
Okay.
Mr. Trudeau, any comments you'd like to share as those of you who are on the line may not be aware? After a long run, Bob Trudeau has just stepped down as the president of Mass Youth Soccer in order to thoroughly enjoy his retirement and finally get a vote at the table.
Thanks, Karen. No, I just want to congratulate the staff and all the folks that are on this call. I think TOPSoccer, obviously we know it has suffered in the last couple of years in the pandemic, probably more so than our regular soccer that we're playing. But it's great to see the revamping and the renewal and the enthusiasm. And I look forward to seeing what's going to happen in the next couple of years with this program.
Thanks, Bob. We're excited to see where we can bring it, and hope that all the new enhancements that we have will add to some of the programs and many more enhancements to come. So,
exactly.
Great.
Thanks.
Anybody, any other questions? If not, we can wrap up. We can stay on the line. We'll stay on for a little bit if anybody has questions and wants to wait for everyone to get off. We're here. So like I said, if you think of anything after this presentation, because I know there is a lot, and when you go back and you look at it, you're going to say, oh, was I supposed to do this or is supposed to do that? Please feel free to reach out. If you want the slide deck, please send me an email and I will share the slide deck with you. This session has been recorded tonight, so anything we've said you can replay. It will be posted on the TOPSoccer website once we're finished. And with that, I want to just thank you all for taking time once again out of your busy schedules to join us tonight, because I know that there's a lot going on, and just to take 45 minutes or an hour out of your time sometimes is not that easy.
Thank you, Tammy, all of you, Kayla, Mary, Jacob, and Jamie. Really well done. Pete, thank you for joining us again. For those of you who are new this week on the line, Pete hails as our East Region TOPSoccer Chair. And so thanks for tuning in. And by the way, the daffodils are now no longer have snow on them. Last week, this time, we had snow.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you all.
See you next week.
Bye, Pete. Thanks for joining us.
See you next week.
Bye.